This is Irontrader. It is the last call of the day. So I'm going to take a look here at Bitcoin, Ethereum ETF, ETHU, gold, silver, crude oil, natural gas. And it looks like all the indexes are nice and green right now. Okay, at the end of the video, the support and resistance levels are posted for crude and natural gas, along with the Baker Hughes rig count. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy some stock market ETF. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Alrighty, here we have Bitcoin daily, weekly. Now you can see here, Bitcoin was working like a circus monkey here today. We had a really nice here high above that 8-day. We got as high as 111,630. What you're doing is just looking right to the left there. 111,785 did not work there, but BITX was a really good trader today. Got as low here in regular hours of 47.56 and as high as 49.71 here. Just a really, really good trading situation here on the long side. Okay, so far here today, we have what they call this an inside day, a high and low is the inside of the previous day. Okay, so on the upside, this is what we're looking for, is that 110,614 on a closing basis, not just the old pop and drop ski. And then if we can get above that, we'll come over here to yesterday's high at 111,785. Then we'll come up top of that candle right there at 112,355. Then we're going to be looking for the total cluster right here of 113,809. There's your 100-day. And then we have your 50 SMA here, sitting at 113,919. And then your 21-day at 114,108. So you have to get above this cluster here in order to take it higher. Now, if we can, then we just look at the top of that candle right there, which is that 116,570. Now, if we look over to the left here, see how we had that 116,515? It just could not close above that, and then we just came right on down. Okay, so when you see this tweezer top situation and we have a lower high and a lower low, that always tells you this is going to be a short ski. Now, yesterday was a really nice good short. I used the BITI on the short ski, and then today it jumped right back into BITX. Actually, last night I did, and this worked out very, very nicely. Now, here on the downside, what we're watching is the bottom of that candle, 109,300. That's what you're looking for, okay? Then we'll come down to there. You're looking at 108,555 level, okay? And then when we're looking over here to the left, you're looking at that 107,790 level, okay? Then we're always looking for these levels right here. This is that 107 level. This is very, very key. If not, we retest yesterday's low at that 106,210, and then we come down to that 104,284 level. And then we have that 103,745. But right now here, this is not looking really that bad. This is a really good trading scenario. Okay. Now remember, for Bitcoin, November really is really the best time of the month there for Bitcoin. And now there's a big sale coming through here on Bitcoin. I mean, huge. I mean, we're talking billions here. It's supposed to be a sale if the price gets above that this 112. 114 area. Again, that could provide a very, very big short squeeze, because right now you got a lot of traders that are like doing like a short on there, versus for me, I just do like the daily on the shorts. Okay. And that could be a short squeeze, and that could take that very bad back up to 127,240 levels. Okay, so always get prepared for that. Now here we look here at 44. That's not overbought, oversold. The green is below your red. This is looking still not bad at all. We got this consolidation here right off the bottom of that candle. See that? Very, very nice. Okay, that's what we're looking for. As long as we hold in that area. If not, we're going to go down to that at 200-day. We can go down to the retest at 103.74, and we come down to the old 50-day right here, down to that 103.293 level. Now, we have the 8-day here at 113.524. Okay, and then we have what do we have? 113.188. So that 8-day has not crossed over as of yet. Okay, so right now we have this like a big indecision candle here on the weekly, but we have a higher high and a higher low, but we're still right here in the center. So we have to just kind of like watch this. This is not really something we're going to trade off. You got to get back above that 113 and that 113.523. We do that, then we can start taking the run and back on upset. Right now here, we're not overbought or oversold. The green is down below your red here because we obviously had that sell off here. So again, just be a little bit of patience on what we got going here. Okay, so right now this is the Bitcoin for me is a trader's market. This is not a buy and hold kind of a situation, because we had that tweezer top, and you really have to get above all these simple moving averages here. That's really that 114. Roughly, if you get above the 114 area, then we can take this a little higher. We can follow the candles all the way on up here. But right now, this is just a trading situation. We got consolidation going on. Okay, so just always remember that, and always watch the previous day's candle, that high 111,785, and then we watch that low at 106,210 level. Okay, let's take a look here at Ethereum ETF, ETHU. All right, here we have the Ethereum ETF, and you can see this is about the same as what we're doing with Bitcoin here, okay? So we had this really nice good rally up of where to go right into the 21-day, and it stopped cold. Next day, we put in a lower high and a lower low, red candle. That's never good. It's usually a follow through all the way on down. Okay, so now we got us low down there as that 95.65. Didn't quite make it down to that 90.18 level, but again, that's just how that goes. Now today we put in a higher high and higher low. So realistically, what you're looking for on the upside is that 108.95, and then we're going to be looking here at the top of this candle right there, looking at 110.97, and then 117.29. We get above that, we got the 21-day sitting right there at 121 level. Then we come top of this candle there. You're looking at 133.31, and then we come back there 136.56 level. Okay, but right now you can see here how this is descending on a down situation. So yeah, 42, that's not overbought or oversold. The green is sideways action. So realistically, as long as we're holding this 200-day, you're looking very, very good on 90.18. Now we start losing it, then you got to look to the left of the chart here. There's your gap, 87.62, and then we look to the top of the candle, 83.97, your gap and your fill. Then we look to the bottom of this candle here, 75.72, there's your gap, and then we look to your fill at 71 flat. Gas, fill, gap, fill situation. But that's only if you lose that 200-day. That is going to be your next support levels right there. Okay. Now here, look at we kind of so far we're below that 21-day at 115, and we're below that 50 SMA here. But we're really just kind of hanging right in this whole scenario here, kind of like a consolidation. But you can see where it rallied up here. Where did it go? Right into the 8-day, stopped it cold. Okay. So again, just always look at the weekly chart. It tells you a lot. Okay. Now, the green crossed over your red, that shows momentum to the downside, and that's obviously what we have. Now you're only sitting at 47. That's not nowhere near oversold, so you got to be a little bit patient on this. But realistically, what you're really looking for is got to get above that 8-day. Then we can have a target of that 100-day, that 20-day, possibly the 50 SMA here. All right, take a look here at gold and silver. All right, I didn't do anything with the gold or silver today because there's really, that I can see, is not a damn thing to do, okay? So what do we have here? We had this bear flag, came right on down, never hit that 50-day, and now we have this sideways consolidation. But you notice it popped up above, but so far we can't get, you got to close above that 40.43 level, then we can hit that 21-day at 40.94. Now, if we crack above that, then we can come right there at that 41.23 level. We'll come up there at that 41.75, and then you work yourself all the way up here, 42.35. We come up there at 43.46, and then we have your big retest at 43.98. But you got to close above the 8-day, close above the 21-day. So that's what I'm waiting for here on the old charts. Okay, so 2 trades is how I would make this. Okay, if we close above the 8-day and the 21-day, then I would jump into GLD, and we can have probably get a retest up that 43.98. Or if it comes down and holds this 50-day sitting right there at that 38.50, that could be a good trade to jump into GLD and take it back up again. But just remember, when that 8-day crosses that 21-day, that's very, very strong resistance. So downside, you want to watch today's low, 39.82, and then 39.25, 39.01, and then we want the 50-day at 38.50. Okay, nosebleed here on the RSI came down. Now we're sitting about 50, about in the middle. The green is still on the downside because we have a downtrending situation here. Okay, but again, 8-day, 21-day is everything. Close above it, we go higher. We sell down to that 50-day, and it holds. That could be a buying opportunity to take it back up. We lose that 50-day right here. 100 days your target, 200 days your target. All right, silver, same thing. Bear flag, down. Bear flag, down. Okay, now we're rallying up here. We're where we are. We're doing a ping pong action. 47.94 on the bottom. That's your 8-day, and then we had 48.97 there on the top. Okay, now if we crack and close above that 21-day, then we're looking right to the top of that candle right there at that 49.22 level, and then we do is we come right to the bottom there. You're looking at 49.66, then we have 50.08, and then we just crack it right up there, 51.61. We have 51.83 level, come up there at 52.63, and then we have your big retest at 53.76. But you got to close above it. So how I'll trade this is very simply. If it closes above that 21-day, I jump in the OSLV and I take it higher towards that mark. Now, if we lose this 8-day, this is going to be key support level 47.95. We lose that, we go to yesterday's low, okay, at that 47.09. Then we come down here at 46.05, look to the bottom there at 45.51, and then 50-day. Now, this comes down to the 50-day, just for an example, that would make me, okay, I would jump right into that bad boy, and I would take this thing right on up here, back up to that 8 simple moving average with the SLV. Now, way overbought, nosebleeds there, came right on down. Now we're sitting right in the bottom middle, the green below your red. So again, you got to be very, very patient with this. Watch that 8-day on the downside, 21-day on the old upside. All right, let's take a look here at the old crude ski. Okay, here we have crude oil. Now you can see here we have a descending chart. High, lower high, lower high, lower high, all the way on down. Okay, so let's just look at here, and then I want to show you a pattern that's developing. Okay, so right now on the downside, you want to watch that key 8 SMA. Let me see if I can figure up a little bit there. There you go. Now you're talking. Okay, so there we go. This is the key support here. Is going to be that 8-day 60.75. We lose that, you got 59.93. We lose that and come right down to the bottom of that candle. You're looking at 59.64. Okay. Then what we do is we come down to the top of that candle, 59.11, and then we go to the top there, 58.08. And then we venture all on down, 57.34. We got 56.35, and you retest 55.96. Okay. Upside, we want to obviously watch today's high. Okay, so you got 61.38 level, and we come on top of that candle. You're looking at 61.50, but really looking at is that 50 SMA here at 61.96. Now you got to respect that 50-day. Simple reason is right here, 3 days could not close above it. Okay, we get above that, we go to 62.92 level. We'll come up top of this candle at 63.26. Then we have your 100-day at 64.29 and your 50-day 65.37. And then we have your top on that candle right there at 66.42. Now, what I really want to show you is this pattern, okay? Inverse head and shoulders pattern is developing. Now, see this? Left shoulder, okay? Head, right shoulder, okay? So, again, if this plays out, we start rallying up here, all you do is you take the distance here from the bottom of this candle, 55.96, okay? And you take it up to the top of the neckline here, okay? So that's 62, okay? So you just do the old flip ski on that, and that's going to take you right to that 200-day with no problem, okay? Probably even retest this level up here at this 66.42. So right now, just watch this pattern. Now, they don't always play out. Don't get me wrong. They don't always play out. But there's your left shoulder, there's your head, and there's your right shoulder. So when I say inverse head and shoulders, you do that flip ski on that, and that could easily retest this level right here at that 66.42 level, okay? Downside, just watch that 8-day and watch that 21-day. Now, if we start losing that, okay, on a closing basis and it starts selling down, that would negate that inverse head and shoulders pattern, and obviously the price would go lower, okay? But always look for patterns. I step back. What I do is I take my computer here, okay, and then I'll step back and I'll take a look at it. Do I see anything in here, okay? And then when I see it, I said, wow, wait a minute here. You got a left shoulder, you got your head, and you got a right shoulder. We do a flip ski, and that could easily come right back up to the retest of that 66 area, okay? So, okay, you got to be very, very attentive to what you're always doing. Okay, now again, if you lose that 8-day and that 21-day, well, that okay, and that'll negate that pattern, and we're going to retest that 55.96. We lose that, you can come down here to that 55.12. Right now, here we go. 51, that's right in the middle. That's not overbought, oversold. Green over your red. This is still looking very, very good here. So be a little bit patient. Let's see what the news is. Now, remember, OPEC has their meeting this weekend, and now they're talking about maybe increasing it from 136,000 barrels a day that they had in November to December of maybe 137,000. Or there's another option is they might just halt the adding of the crude oil. Okay, so if they halt that, okay, that could take crude oil here higher. Okay, so again, just watch that 50-day on a closing basis. That's going to be key. You crack that above that, then we're going to be looking at that neckline at that 62.92. We crack above that 62.92, we're going to hit that 100, 200-day, and we're going to retest this bad boy right up here at that 66.42 level. Okay, so always pay attention to that and to the news and watch that what the OPEC had to say this weekend. All right, take a look here at natural gas. All right, here we have natural gas. Okay, so right there, boom. Okay, so we had a little, this was here the contract roll. So I didn't say, okay, this rallied up here on demand. This was just a contract roll, and now it looks like we're rallying up here. Okay, so upside here, we got as high as 4.157. Okay, so I just said, all you have to do is look to the left of the chart. This is your resistance level right there at basically 1.5. Okay, well, just a hair higher. That's what I did. This is why you trade the charts. Now, if it keeps rolling, then all you do is you bring this price channel across. Okay, what do you got? You got 420. Then we bring this price channel across. You got 425. Then we come to the top of this candle, 437. Then we have 447. Come up there at 455. Come up there at 458. And then this is the big retest at 490 level. Okay, so always look to the left of the chart because where it's been is usually where it's going before. Okay, just that simple. So right now, this is your resistance level. It's that 415 level. You can see where we popped up to it, and now we're sitting at 410. We've got just a little bit smidge higher than what we had here, but that doesn't mean nothing. Now, again, is this a double top and it's going to sell down, or it's going to crack through? So if it starts cracking through, then we just watch all these levels until we hit one that where it stops. Just that simple. Now, downside, I want to watch yesterday's high. Okay, so you're looking at 4.07. Then we look to today's low, 4.01. Okay, just that simple, just like that. Okay, then we come down here. We're going to be looking right there. You can look at that 3.94 level. Okay, then we'll come down here to the top of that candle, looking at 375. We have 362, and then we'll be looking here at the top of this candle right there at that 3.58. Now, right here is your 8-day. It's lining up very, very nice here with that double top situation. So that's going to provide very good support. As that runs up, this comes down. That's going to be a very good support. Now remember, watch this gap. Okay, you look at the bottom there, 375, and then we look at the top there at 3.43. So you have a gap in a fill situation, but we have the 8-day, the 200 SMA here, right there in the whole mix of it. Okay, so right now I say always want to trade the charts, but again, this was a gap up. Okay, on the contract roll. It wasn't on a demand situation. So always remember that. Now, here we are again to a little bit overbought. But again, this chart is kind of screwed up here because we had the gap up and this RSI and the MACD follows it. And they're thinking, these two things are thinking, wow, this is a demand issue. This is going higher. They're not taking into consideration that basically these two here are going up on a contract roll situation. All right, that's what I got for you. I hope everybody has a great weekend. I'll be back here Sunday night. We'll do it all over again. Trade what's in front of you, not what you want.